that has to be by far the stupidest, uh, what is it, thumbnail that I have ever done in my life. But anyways, it's staying. So what's up, you guys? Last night I went to see the movie The Meg, and honestly, when I first went in to see this movie, I did not know what to expect. Of course, immediately memories of Jaws come to mind because anytime you see a shark movie, if you don't think about Jaws, then I guess you're not from that generation or something. I know that was I wasn't even born when Jaws came out. Now that I think about it, wasn't it an '89 movie or something? Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, you guys, when it comes to this movie, it was sort of better than what I can claim to have expected out of this movie, given that I really didn't have any expectations. And what I mean by that is that there were some interesting parts. Um, and honestly, I don't even know how to begin to talk about this, but I guess the best part of the movie had to be Jason Statham because I feel like although his tactics were ridiculous and it's the type of movie where you know that the main character is in grave peril, but you know nothing is going to happen to them because they're the main character, then I could not feel uneasy or worried about what the fate of the character would be. But at least he is the character that's all brave and it's proactive about getting stuff done, whereas all of the other characters kind of lacked life. It's like, you know, they're there, but they really do not, besides the billionaire guy, they really don't have a personality. Of course, there's the billionaire guy, and then there's the panicky character that's all about, I don't know how to swim, this and that. But other than that, I feel like the cast was not all that invested in the movie. And when it comes to what other character I can think of that is pretty memorable, I would say it's the little girl. And it's particularly because of the stuff she's wearing. First of all, she is wearing shoes that have lights on them. So it reminds me of my childhood when I was obsessed with other kids wearing the shoes that would light up every time you would take a step. I don't think I ever owned a pair. I don't have a recollection of it. But it's possible that I did. I don't know. But I'm one of those people who's just fascinated with lights. I love Christmas lights. I love neon lights. Like, I think if I could throw away money on upgrading my car on anything, it would be an underglow. And it would definitely be purple. Not because purple is my favorite color. It's not actually my favorite color. My favorite color is actually navy, but I just like things that glow. So you can imagine that glow sticks were my favorite part of Halloween. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked now. But yeah, you guys. Honestly, the thing that was a letdown was the fact that I expected to see more. How can I say this? This shark being more of a public threat. Maybe that's Jaws messing with my mind, like a movie about sharks that I have already seen. I have my preconceived expectations with this movie, given that it involves a shark as well. But you know how in the trailer they show that part where they're at the beach and it's heavily populated and the shark is attacking them and eating people and whatnot? Honestly, that doesn't happen until like maybe 5 to 10 minutes before the movie is over. And I thought that that was going to be a big part of the movie. Like, you have this humongous shark that's just threatening, and we would, of course, find out its origin. But at the same time, I thought it would be more of a bigger threat to public safety. Um, but it turns out that it was more of a threat to the species that surrounded it and also maybe the lab, I guess, but it really got attacked once. And I guess if I count the attack on the expedition, then twice. But like, okay, this is a big shark, but it turned out to be two of them. It's like you have that teenage shark that attacks initially, and then that one gets killed, and then you get the granddaddy of all sharks, the actual megalodon, show up. And I'm like, oh, so that wasn't our shark. Because there's this part where that first teenage megalodon gets killed, and they got it out of the water, all bloodied up and everything. And it's actually a bait for the actual megalodon to come out and actually eat it. And then that's how the other ship gets capsized and everything. And some people from the lab ended up dying in that scene. But it's just crazy. I did not see that coming. I thought that this megalodon that they had injected with this venom or whatever, I thought that it was just unconscious, but at any time it was just going to like zap awake and then start splashing out of the water, and then because it's so big it would damage the ship and possibly, you know, hurt somebody, and of course killing them. But it turns out that the actual biggest shark is drawn by the smell of this one that's all bloody and out of the water, and it jumps from out of the water to eat that bait that is now the what I keep calling the teenage megalodon. And then that's where that stuff gets even messier. But when it comes to the movie itself, the plot is not difficult to follow at all. And I think that it's, in a sense, it's beautifully shot. Like when you go to the deep trench, you know, the trenches in the ocean, I think that was pretty nicely shot. And also the lab itself that's underwater, I feel like it was a pretty good stage and whatnot, like pretty well put together. But I don't know, it's definitely not the best movie I have seen. I don't want to say that it sucked because like I said, there was stuff that was enjoyable, and the very beginning is it starts off on a nuclear submarine, and then Statham's character ends up being all traumatized because he had to bail on some of the folks who were still stuck on the ship, and they were begging for him to come back and help them escape. But realistically, that just couldn't happen. So that just messed him up in the head, and it took him years to really recover from that. And then there was this doctor guy from the new expedition now that was still mad at him, and then he realized that Statham's character was telling the truth when he said that something attacked the submarine. Because initially they called him crazy and they wouldn't believe him. So after all of that, of course, that doctor ended up apologizing. And then basically, this is about someone sticking the neck out in peril to save other people, and then you don't get appreciated. So I guess that was kind of neat. But of course, because there's this billionaire involved who he owns like the whole lab thing, then of course there are political reasons for being there. There are financial reasons to be there. It's like, oh, you know, we're discovering this species that we thought was extinct. This is going to be an advancement for science, but not only that, this is going to make my pockets deeper. You know, that kind of conflict, like every single science movie has. And then the morals stuff comes into play as well, because the question becomes, okay, we unearthed this fossil that we thought was extinct, like this animal that we thought was extinct, and now that we have uncovered it, now we're trying to kill it because it's becoming a threat to humanity. So that's the clash when it comes to the plot, which is the ideals, which ideals work, which ones don't. And I feel like that conflict is pretty well played out. I mean, it's understood, but what's even more understood is the fact that you cannot let this thing just be roaming out in the ecosystem because it's going to wipe out every single thing. I don't think that the the whole ocean can keep this thing fed forever. So yeah, it does become a bigger threat when you think about it theoretically. But what the movie portrayed about the threat level of this thing, is what I was having issues with. So, but anyways, you guys, would I recommend for you to watch this movie? If you're looking for the time of your life with a movie, then no. But if you just don't have anything better to do with your night or evening and you just want to be distracted and look at a movie plot that's different, like go underwater or something, then yeah, this would be an enjoyable movie for you. But just go in with pretty low expectations because it's not all that. Well, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. This is pretty much all that I have to say. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you're seeing this movie, if you plan on seeing it. And if you plan on seeing it, I hope that you don't mind spoilers. I always try to put it in big letters at the front of the video so that you don't, if you mind spoilers, I don't care. But I know that not everyone is me. So I try to give you a heads up. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. And thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you soon.